Well, hey guys, how's everybody? I hope you're all well. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. I hope y'all have a great week. I've had the opportunity to run this little Johnny Red this evening. And I say little because a lot of the saws I've been running here lately, they make this feel like a little saw. But anyway, the port work or lack thereof, it was all a little different than what you're used to seeing. And you know, this saw performs well. I've made a few cuts with it. I've got a few on video. The real test, you know, was getting it out in the woods and actually working it. But this saw starts super easy. It fires back up on the first pull. I think it's going to be a dang good work saw. It doesn't get hot. It'll idle all day. I think it's just going to be a good, fine example of just a good felling saw, bucking saw, or whatever you want to call it, blocking up firewood, limbing a tree. I think it's going to be a good all-around build, and that's kind of what I was going for. It's zippy, it's torquey, it's tuned at, I think it was 13,440 and still pretty dang rich there. I could lean it up to 14 grand and it still had a good blubber, and you know, we don't even have a ring seat yet. Once the ring seat's in good, you know, this thing will easily be safely tuned at, you know, 13.8, 14,000 RPMs, I think. And you know, we started with a damaged, scored up cylinder, had a lot of aluminum transfer in it, a lot, above and below the exhaust port. I started off by cleaning all that up. It looked good. Probably got it 90% of the way back to where it was at originally. I do have a double ringed piston in it. I did drop the bottom ring in it and leave it off. There's no pop-up cut into it or anything. I did cut a lot out of the squish band. I think almost too much. For sake of my mind, I left the squish a little loose on it once the cylinder was torqued down and glued. It's sitting at like 29 thousandths. It's not going to make or break the deal at all. The exhaust roof, it was originally 101. It landed around 107, about dead on 107 once it was said and done. I left it there. I went in with the 120 roll and cleaned that port up. I did bump the sides a little. It is widened the least little bit, not a lot at all, nowhere near the max of what you could do. Didn't even polish it. You can refer back to the last video. It has a piece of 3/4 inch pipe in the muffler, and that is it. The saw's not even that loud. You can comfortably run it. You know, adding another port or bigger pipe may add in more performance, but I didn't want it to be really loud. My ears ring enough constantly as it is, but anyway, be safe while you're hearing protection, I guess, but I tend to never follow my own advice. Needless to say, what I'm saying, the saw could have been took further, but I chose not to. It was, some of the stuff was done just for the hell of it, to see what would happen. Generally, I know how they're going to run, but I'd honestly never left something with a 50mm bore with a roof that low. Never that I can remember. Transfers. Now, I spent some time there, getting the angles where I wanted them, getting them all four to fire at the same time. 123. This is a 16 blowdown saw. I will promise you it will not fall on its face in a cut. It starts easy again. It idles good. It's snappy. Good all-around work saw. Doesn't get hot. And we will take it out and field test it. Those videos just don't seem to get the views as the videos of me here, as some of these guys would say, cookie cutting in the backyard. They get way more views than the videos of me out in the woods cutting, which I don't blame people. Some of them are boring as shit. That's why I've been doing a commentary over a lot of them. But Anyway, the intake was originally, I think, 73. It landed on 79, so you can figure we moved everything around 60 thousandths. With that said, the saw runs great. It pulls hard. Revs higher than I thought it would rev with that really low exhaust roof. The lowest I've left one was my kit saw. When I redone it, I left it at 105. There's video of that saw in Hickory. It pulls like a train and is fast. I'm starting to question raising the exhaust roof on work saws at all. You know, if you've got one that lands like at 110 or something, yeah, it probably needs raised back, but you know, this one might have benefited from pulling it back to 106, 105, I don't know. Usually these things I'll set around 103. The 365s I've done, the best one in the run the best running one I've done as far as a work saw, it was left at 103, had 220 pound of compression. I don't know where this is going to end up. Like I said, that cylinder was scored up. I fixed it. It's got one ring. It's going to take a few tanks to seat in, but it feels pretty healthy, to be honest with you. Who knows, time will tell. Once I get a few tanks on it, I'll probably put a gauge on it and check it out. But anyway, I've done them set. The crusty saw's set at 97. That saw pulls hard, but it'll also turn 15,000, 16,000 RPMs out of the cut as well. Then the really nice one we done all the hogging out to, which, guys, those transfers, if you refer back to that build, the machine work versus hogged out transfers, they are still not as big as the stock transfers on a 372, so just keep that in mind. It's still nowhere near as big. I set a stock gasket down over it, and there was still a lot of room those could have been opened up. I was just kind of trying to prove a point there. That saw ran good, but it ran even better when we went back and done just the least little bit of machine work. I just done enough to move the exhaust roof back from 98 to 100 on it, and it was like daylight to dark difference running it in the cut. I know some of you guys are fans of other channels that, you know, they don't like machine work, they're against it. That's fine. This is America. Everybody has their own opinion to what they're going to do. And, you know, we have that First Amendment freedom of speech. You can say most of whatever you want to say. But I do feel that some people are led down the wrong path. You can't just go in and grind the transfer ports, the lowers, and hog them out, and then that saw will be like a race saw. It just doesn't work that way. A lot of it is in the port timing. It's in compression. The compression up in it will give you more power on one of these than anything you can do. My channel's still small. I don't make any money off of it, barely. It's every 2 months before I break the payment threshold. I ain't got no reason to lie to people and try to draw them in. I'm only trying to help. I know people think I'm negative or an asshole, but you know, a lot of this stuff is nonsense and really needs to stop. It just is what it is. But I'll quit running my mouth. I'll throw up the other little video I'd made. I was going to have just a silent video, but I told the wife, I said I'd better go back out and talk a little bit about the build and say why I done what I done. Guys, it was just for the hell of it, but I doubt I'll go back into this thing. It runs strong. Be an amazing saw for felling trees. It is torquey, it is fast. It would put a load of wood on your truck quick. That chain ain't no slouch. I've got some pretty stupid aggressive angles on it, and the way it's falling through that log like hot butter, you wouldn't even know it. And that is not a piece of cheese. That is a good hard sound piece of wood. Is all I could do to lift it up into that stand. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Y'all enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope y'all have a great week.